Hi guys, and welcome back to Used and Reviewed. In this video we're taking a look at the Silverstone Sugo Series SG10 small form factor PC case. I'm actually going to be building a gaming PC using this case, so hit that subscribe button and keep your eye out for my future build in a later video. The case comes in a rather nice packaging with a Velcro strap on top for easy transportation. We've got a graphic on this side showing you all the components within the case and some of the features as well. On the other side of the box we've got a list of specifications. As you can see, the case is mainly a steel body design and it does have an aluminium front panel. In terms of the motherboard sizes you can fit in the case, we've got micro ATX, mini DTX and mini ITX. In terms of the drive bays, there is a slim optical drive bay in the front top of the case, and we also have two 3.5 inch internal bays and 2.5 inch bays times by 4. Onto one of the most important parts of a small form factor case. In terms of the cooling system, we've got a 120mm rear fan, a 180mm air penetrator fan on the top. On the left hand side we've got a 120mm fan, and we also have optional slots for two further fans at 80 or 92mm, and on the right hand side there's another optional 80mm fan slot. For the expansion slot we have 4 on the back. On the front we have 2 USB 3 ports, an audio and mic jack. For the power supply, this case can take a standard ATX size PSU up to 180mm, although 160mm is advised due to the restrictions in terms of the innards of the case. In terms of the expansion cards, we can fit up to a 13.3 inch long graphics card with a width restriction of 5.7 inches. In terms of dimensions, as you can see from the list, it's a really small case, but it does give the capacity of 23 litres. Very impressive indeed. The items we get in the box, we have a fan duct, a converter bracket for a 140mm fan, a bracket for securing a slim optical drive, bag of screws, some cable ties, 4 foot stands which can be placed anywhere on the bottom of the case, a 3-pin fan connector to 4-pin peripheral, and 4 adhesive spacers for the slim optical drive installation. We also get one installation manual. On the front of the case we have the on-off switch and a reset switch, 2 USB 3 ports, a headphone and microphone jack. We also have the Silverstone logo in the middle with a mesh grill here. Now actually this can be removed and cleaned, and the idea is that your power supply is going to sit behind this and then take the cool air onto the power supply. We have the slim optical drive as well. On the top of the case we have that 180mm fan sat behind a removable dust filter. On the right hand side of the case we have an area here where the PSU is going to sit behind, and also that optional 80mm fan at the very bottom. On the other side of the case we have another ventilation area, again where the PSU sits. At the bottom we have another filter there that can remove like so, which houses 3 fans, one 120mm fan, and then we have 2 80 or 92mm fans. The 120mm fan can actually be replaced with a 92mm fan. On the rear of the case we have a fan switch which can be set to low, medium or high. We have an opening here for the I/O slots, a connection for the power supply which includes a cable that goes from the back to the front of the case and into your power supply unit. We have that 120mm exhaust fan. We have 4 expansion slots as well as some more ventilation. Finally, underneath the case we have one traditional screw that you will need to undo to remove the cover. As I mentioned, we can place the feet in any location we like. To get into the case we have 7 screws in total, one traditional one on the bottom, a traditional one on this side, and then 5 bum screws. Once all of the screws are removed, there are 2 parts to remove from the case to get into the innards. Once the 2 panels are off, we get into the main chassis of the case itself. From the top, this is where your slim optical drive will fit. here's that large 180mm intake fan as well. On the right hand side of the case we have access to the Psu tray, and this can simply be unscrewed using the 2 screws at the top and the bottom. Removed, we can put the Psu into the tray, attach it, and then firmly screw the tray back into place. And this area here is where we're going to actually install our hard drives. We can place 2 3.5-inch drives there, or 4 2.5-inch drives. Finally, we have an area in the left hand side, bottom left hand side, that would house that optional 80mm fan. In terms of the inside, as you can see, we've got a number of cables obviously going to attach to your motherboard for the various IOs, and we've also got that power supply cable I mentioned before, which will plug into your power supply, which will sit at the front here and will allow you to run the cord out of the back. The motherboard area has a couple of openings, which is going to make it a little bit easier when installing that CPU cooler, and as you'll notice there is a large area here for installation of a graphics card. Now, as I mentioned, you can install a graphics card up to 13.3 inches in length. I have a GeForce 660 GTX card, and as you can see there's going to be plenty of room to install the card, along with a couple of other expansion slots that I might need. If you're looking for a small form factor PC case, then the SG10 could well suit your needs. Just to give you a perspective of size, here is one PlayStation Slim against the SG10. Size wise, it's a great profile, even vertically, and the case isn't much larger lengthways either. So guys, that pretty much sums up the look at the SG10. As I mentioned, I'm going to be building a Haswell based gaming PC using this small form factor case. So if you'd like to see that, hit that subscribe button and watch out for the video. Let me know what you think about the case, leave us a comment in the description, and we'll see you all in the next video.